When I was a kid, there wouldn't be a sport that I wouldn't want to try and play. I wanted to always be outside and playing sports. Now that I look back at it, and I know now, it allows me to escape. I think I realized I wanted to be a dad when my playing career was over and I was a teacher. And my love for my students and my love for my athletes, I think that's when it clicked. It's like, well, yeah, I think I could be a really good dad. You're gonna do it now? All right, don't forget about the molars. When you become a dad, you realize that your life isn't the most important thing anymore, and you're hoping that when you do become a dad, that you've done everything that you really wanted to do in your life, and now your experiences are not just for yourself, but your experiences are now with your loved ones, and that becomes the most important thing. Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Those are the things that a dad, a really good dad does, which is sacrificing the rest of their lives so that their child's lives are better than theirs. I think that's the ultimate goal, that you want your child to be better than you are. So I wanted to do something where my life was going to mean something long after I was gone. And that's what the Field of Dreams is for.
All right, we need our bread. And we need our peanut butter. Good job. Put them on your plate. He loved to climb. He loved to do anything that he knew would make me have to hold my breath and scream and say, don't do that, you're gonna hurt yourself. He started walking at 10 months old, started running a few weeks later, and then that was it. I mean, that's just the way he was. He was that typical Norman Rockwell kid that would have a frog hang out of one pocket, a dead bird in the other. Like, that was who he was. Good job.
He was so much like me. This kid that wanted to play anything and dive into anything, to run into the ocean and to climb a rock wall and try to hit a home run. I thought, along with my older son Owen, that it was going to be the three of us, going to games together. And then when they got older, the three of us out on the basketball court and playing a round of golf and having a beer afterwards. And that's what I envisioned. It was great.
I took a picture that morning. I don't know why I took the picture, but it was Brielle, Haley, and Gavin were sitting at the table eating cereal. It's the last picture I have of Gavin actually sitting in a chair by himself. He's actually up on his knees and he's eating.
It's a turn that's legal. It's a turn that everyone makes and no one ever thinks twice about it. Until July 12th of 2012, we were just sitting here waiting here to make the left-hand turn that I've done endless times. For 7-8 years I had made this same turn and never thought twice of what was going to happen. Gavin
was a mama's boy, as he still is, and I remember backing out and he was in the driveway screaming, running after the car, Mom, Mom. So that was hard for me. That's the last time I heard him call my name.
Then I heard the sound, which is this fully loaded beer truck going out onto its route, crashing into us from behind. Once I did come to, after being pushed over and hit by the beer truck, I do remember, though, the dead silence. How is a 19-month-old boy, after being hit by something, not screaming and crying? And that's when I knew we were in trouble. I remember grabbing him out of his car seat, unbuckling him, trying to grab him out, and then just screaming just for help, anyone to come for help. And within a minute or two, an ambulance, a police car, and they just took Gavin away from me and just saying, what happened and why did this happen?
And my phone rang, and it was Christian, and he said, there's been an accident. And he said, I'm okay, but Gavin isn't.
Basically, the impact of the truck was so immense that my actual car seat broke in half, and the back of my head hit Gavin square in the skull.
I knew as a mom this was serious. He didn't tell me how serious it was, but I knew in my heart it was. And I was just crying and praying, please keep him alive until I get there. The doctor came and said to us, we can't help him here. He said he has brain damage. I remember that was the one thing that stuck out in my head. He has brain damage. They said he could leave us at any minute. It's just suffocating. It's beyond words of how suffocating that feeling is to know that your child, you know, who you just left that morning, everybody was so happy. It was a gorgeous day. We were all going to the water park. And then when this happened to him, it's something that you couldn't imagine.
Next stop on the trolley ride is brush your teeth. Who loves the trolley? Yeah, you love the trolley.
The family dynamics, you know, is difficult because of the fact that Mary and I knew that where Gavin was and where he is now, he needs you 24 hours a day. And I was a very active dad, and the accident just took all that away. And I do feel bad for the 4 olders, because they lost that mom and that dad, just like we lost that Gavin.
We're getting ready to go to therapy. Therapy's an hour and a half away, so we have to make sure that we have everything needed. I was in over my head. I had no idea, and no one was really offering me a lot of information. I can't wait.
We were on our own. We didn't have time to prepare. It wasn't something where Gavin was, you know, still in the womb and the doctor said, listen, there's going to be an issue with your son. It was literally in the snap of a finger, you were thrown into the world of special needs. And every person with a special need is different from another.
I'll help you. Now,
Come on.
Okay, ready? We're gonna stand up, push into righty foot. Go.
There you go. Push, push, push. Strong, 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 strong. There you go. There you go.
Good job.
I got a lot of reading material, which I'll be quite honest with you, was extremely depressing. I mean, it was telling me everything he couldn't do.
Can you keep it there? Good trying. That's
Nice,
right.
Gavin.
Low 5. Nice work. Now,
Like, your child will never do this. Like, there was no hope in this book at all. So I decided pretty early on that I was going to try to figure this out on my own.
Oh, look at this kid. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. This kid, not that kid. This kid right here. You know, over this last 5 years, it's just it's a process, and you know, now we have a good idea of who Gavin is, what are his abilities, and you know, I think we have a really good game plan. You know, over this last 4 or 5 years of what we need to do to get Gavin to be better. Gavin began to improve to a point where he wanted to be with other kids. He wanted to participate. So you started to go to, you know, local parks. And when you went to the local parks, you realized, like, all right, well, how are we gonna get him down a slide? Or how are we gonna get him on a swing?
All right, you ready? Come on, let's go to that slide. I can't wait to go super fast
Come on,
with you.
Gavin, let's go. Let's go.
Come
Get down that slide.
There aren't many things that are available. If there is an adaptive swing, it's usually put far away from the other typical children that are playing. So now he feels isolation. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Whoa.
My name's Gavin Schneider. I went to therapy since I was like 2. I still go to therapy 1 time a week right now. People that don't really know about special needs, they kind of like stare at you a little bit. And like, it doesn't bother me anymore. Like, I don't care, I try to ignore it, but like, it's still there.
I think ignorance is probably more it, and in their defense, probably 10 years ago, I would have been the same way before Caden was born, because you don't know.
Ooh, swimming. That would be a fun idea.
When we engage with typical families and typical children, you either have, the type of children that they're afraid of Fina. I tell them Serafina has a different brain, and it makes her very different than you and I, but we still have the same heart.
I like to play baseball and I like to play football with my brother when I'm like outside and stuff. I had to learn how to do it differently because like I'm not that fast and stuff. So like I always used to be the quarterback because I'm good at throwing but not good at running, kind of like how Tom Brady is not that good at running, or Ben Roethlisberger is not that good at running, or, kind of like that.
They are just the same. They might not look the same. They might not be able to move the same or respond the same, but they're the same. They're humans, and every single human being on this earth deserves the quality of life and of fun and of enjoyment that everyone else deserves.
The Field of Dreams project is a project that Mr. Kane started for his son and other special needs kids like me. It's like gonna be like a big complex that has baseball fields, playgrounds, trampolines.
It started out just a baseball field and a playground. And it was going to be a simple project.
And then we started talking to people about it, and we'd hear, well, I don't want to play baseball, I want to play golf. So, okay, well, maybe we should have a miniature golf course. I don't want to play golf or baseball, I want to play basketball.
This has to be something for anyone of any special need. And that's when it really took off into now this little project, into this $2.2 million special needs complex.
I believe it's attainable. I truly do, because the way the community has come and backed us with this idea, I definitely think it's attainable.
I'm Connor and I'm 7 years old.
Gavin and Connor met at preschool, and there was an article in the paper, and reading it, I recognized that it was Gavin, my friend Gavin. And so it was just around the time of Connor's birthday, and that's how the whole idea of him having a party to celebrate his friendship with Gavin and to do something for someone else.
I actually wanted to donate money to Field of Dreams so they can build it, and because it's a field where other people can make dreams come true.
Connor has said it makes him a better person. Like, he realizes it makes him a good friend.
Gavin has one inside problem, his brain, but his heart is the same.
Connor knew nothing about special needs, but he met Gavin, and he saw like, wow, he's just like me.
That's what I want people to know. He can feel, and he can hear you, and he understands everything you're saying. Yes, he might not be able to walk or talk, but he's exactly that same kid inside that he was before the accident.
Field of Dreams is for anybody. You're coming into a place where you know that you're not the one being stared at, because everyone is in the same boat. More so, it's also for the caretakers, the moms, the dads, the aunts, the uncles, to be able to now bring their special needs person and be able to sit on a bench, watch their loved one do something that either they used to do or thought they never could do.
There's so many children, adults, adolescents, just people in need of something like this.
What they're doing for this community, this area, is amazing. I really think that we have the potential of being the town of the future for inclusion and disabilities. It's not just about disabilities, it's about including everybody.
You should be a part of everyone's world, and Gavin, part of our world. We think that's super special. Like, we feel very blessed that he's part of our world.
Everyone has a kid inside of them, and everyone remembers playing and doing something that made them happy. You just have to remind them. That's the key thing. I need this project to be built for my son, no lie. That's the selfish reason of it. I want my son to be able to play sports and to be able to have a place to go to no matter what the case may be. But then it's grown from there, because there are so many other people that need this help. And that's the goal of the Field of Dreams.
Welcome to the Toms River Field of Dreams at the RWJ Barnabas Health Field of Dreams Complex at the Ocean Orthopedic Associates Complex. Sorry for the wordage, but it's appropriate because of so many people that want to be involved. We hope you enjoy this tour. of our complex. And when you come visit, you'll feel that it really wouldn't be your first time. It will be, a simple guide to show you everything that we have available for full inclusion for families of all ranges and abilities. As you see, this is not just a playground. This is a 3.1 acre complex, started in March of 2017 by my wife Mary and myself. And as you can see, the different components of the complex that can bring full inclusion, not only for families, but also for different organizations that assist those over the age of 21, as well as elementary and middle and high schools to be able to participate with one another and be able to continue the inclusion that they're learning in the classroom, but now they can implement inclusion, out in the public and out in play areas. Our first location is the baseball field, which was funny because that's all it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be just a baseball field, and the idea came from simply that I was traveling over an hour and 15 minutes with Gav to get to a Miracle League baseball game, and how living in Toms River, the mecca of Little League baseball, why was I doing that? How was there not a baseball field, that was inclusive for anyone's ability? And so there's the baseball field, but my wife Mary and I see it more so than that. We see it as a pumpkin patch. We see it as an apple orchard. We see it as an Easter egg hunt. It's a location that allows for full mobility and full participation of anybody of any ability. And lastly, it has one of our 2 Thrive stations, which allow people to learn about healthy living, and learn about core strength and range of flexibility, and just promoting just good health. Our 9-manager hole golf course was simply a life experience that we experienced when we were at a typical miniature golf course, and we were kind of being looked at and kind of being huffed and puffed at by families who were typical. So we built the 9-hole miniature golf course. You can play 1 hole, you can play 9, you can play 18. You can once again, with schools, can learn different types of sharing in regards to changing, who gets to play first, or who gets to hit, or who gets to pick up the ball. It's just a really good learning piece, but it's also just brings pure enjoyment for anyone who enters the complex because of the ease of the design, where there really is no restrictions if you're in any kind of mobility device. Our community garden, once again, the purpose of that is to be able to grow and produce, produce to families in the surrounding area that can't afford, live, vegetables or any other type of fresh product. So we designed it where it's throughout the complex, and it's home to 20 of our organizations that deal with people over the age of 21 plus. We grow different types of items throughout the year. It allows people to be able to touch parts of the garden, because we do have a sensory garden. And most importantly, the community garden allows for full inclusion. And that's basically the goal of the complex, is to allow people of ranging abilities to be able to experience plantings, putting in seeds, growing, watering, and then most importantly, harvesting and then transferring into a new season with new products. Our sheltered event space, aka the Pavilion, is home to our art festivals, our music festivals. It's also home to people having lunch or early dinner. The Pavilion is heated, We have heating lamps. It's well lit. It's got microphones. As you saw in previous picture, it's also home to 4 stations for charging for a power chair. So therefore, people who are in a power chair do not have to leave if they're running low on battery, as you see there. And most importantly, our pavilion, is a place where if you want to come and rent the facility out, it's a great for birthday parties or special events, especially if you have people with a special need. The concern of mobility is taken away, and it's really something that we know that people are going to enjoy more and more because of the fact of the open space underneath the pavilion. Our bathrooms, we have 2, male and female. Within each pavilion are 3 special needs stalls and 1 typical stall. Everything is automated. Everything is wheelchair height. It's heated. It's air conditioned. It's obviously, you can see, well lit. But most importantly, it has an accessible folding chair. It allows those individuals who, if they have a bathroom issue, it allows the caretaker to be able to fold down the table, lower it. It's all electronical. It also has an enclosure that you can surround yourself. And basically, the most important thing is to give the decency and the respect to everyone if they have a bathroom issue. And then most importantly, once that bathroom issue is taken care of, that family, those individuals can now go back and re-enter the fun that they were having prior to entering the bathroom. It's a piece the bathroom is a very important piece for special need families because they know they don't have to leave. And that's really important to the complex and to Mary and I. Well, there it is. This is our inclusive playground. It's big. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's everything that you could imagine a playground to be. It has a trampoline. It has varying degrees of swings. It has a zip line. And new to, in spring of 2023, you'll have a wheelchair swing where you can remain in your wheelchair and swing with other people. And most importantly, it has, rubber surfacing that is accessible. And if anyone happens to fall, there is, a less chance of getting hurt. It's just really, it promotes inclusion. It just speaks for inclusion because of varying degrees of abilities people can play together. And we'll go more specifically into pieces of the playground as we move along. The moon bounce, real simple. If you're in a wheelchair, if you're of a special need, the idea of going on a trampoline is, it's probably something that you're not going to do. It's thinking of, someone in there, a little bit older than, myself, thinking of jumping on a trampoline probably isn't something that you're thinking of. This moon bounce allows for full inclusion play on a trampoline. You can see that there's 2 access points to the trampoline. One is a small trail where if you're in a power chair, you can, move along. You can access it from the typical play set that you see to the left. The idea of the moon bounce was simple, that no matter what your physical ability is currently, you can jump around face to face with your family members or new friends or old friends, and once again, continually promote what full inclusion play really is supposed to be about. Whenever you come to the complex, there's always this sound of laughter and enjoyment. But the one sound that you'll always hear is of a person or individual playing playing, on our music station. I was taken back by the beginning of when we opened this complex in 2022, that how many people gravitate to this music area. It's built in a way so that it's wheelchair accessible. It's built in a way so that you can have full inclusion play where friends or family or instructors, teachers could be face to face. It also has an electronical musical part for those who are typical, who can get through the typical side, and you can have now full inclusive musical play, as those who are in a wheelchair or those who want to play manually can do that, and then those who want to play with the electronic, guitar, drum set, and piano set could play, together as one, and once again, it just promotes inclusive play. When Mary and I decided to, build the complex, and we were specifically talking about the swings, we kind of realized that, one swing wasn't going to cut it. So as you can see, you have special needs swings that hold people well over 5 feet tall, well over 150 pounds. You have these bucket swings that allow people to, swing back and forth, but, the risk of falling is minimal. You can have interaction face to face. You have bench swings that you see currently. And it just, once again, allows people of varying degrees have the feel of, the motion of a swing. And I learned early on how important having these different types of swings, because people are all different. And it's really one of the bigger hits, within the playground. If I would have known the seesaw swing would have been such a hit, I would have put in more. As you can see, that's our family interacting, participating, and having fun. Once again, face to face though. You can have 4 people sitting in the chair. You can have multiple people, as you can see my daughter jumping off the middle part, or my wife showing off her athletic ability as I am passed out in the background. But it's, once again, the idea of inclusive play and people in varying degrees enjoying, once again, just being together at the complex. When I tell students prior to their arrival that we have gaming tables, they're super pumped. And then they see the picture and they're like, what the heck is this? And the gaming tables are an important cog for us because it introduces, once again, inclusive play. People who are typical can sit on the benches. People who are in wheelchair can roll up to the bench. Introduce games like backgammon and checkers and the great game of chess. But it's also, great benches for people just to hang out. The benches that you see now, once again, allow caretakers to watch their loved ones play. And our volunteers are interacting with their loved ones. And there's nothing better than sitting on a bench watching your loved one do things that you never thought they could do. But more importantly, as you're sitting on these benches along the walking path, you're in the same boat with the person sitting next to you. And it allows you the opportunity to talk to one another about, occupational therapists and physical therapists and other things that are going on in the special needs world. It's a very nice part to the complex. As you enter the complex, the first thing you get hit with is our court area. We have a basketball court, which is specifically designed for wheelchair accessibility. It has a hoop that allows us to change from 4 feet to 10 feet high. So it allows for definitely full inclusion play. And our bocce ball court is, really a multiple accessible court. We do host bocce ball leagues, but more importantly, we also place different games within that bocce ball court area, Jenga and Scrabble and different other types of games that you can just get yourself, on the turf, lay down there and start interacting with others. We're really happy with these 2 court areas because they also are Special Olympic events. And when we host Special Olympics events with coordination with different school districts, we have the capability of offering so many different athletic games to be played. I hope you enjoyed our tour. I hope you kind of get an idea of what we are. It's hard to explain what we are. I ask every family to kind of compare what we are to another place that they may have gone that's like this. I guess the best analogy is when someone has never been to Disney, I explain to them, well, have you ever been to Great Adventure? And most people said, yeah, because they're local. And I just say 10 times bigger. That's what Disney is. I've always asked families when they leave, is there a place similar to this that they've ever been to? And the answer has always come back, no, I can't give you something similar to this. And that's how I know that this is the only special needs complex like this, in the country. It promotes, it oozes, it wants for you to be included, no matter what your age is, no matter what your athletic ability. It's been designed that way. And we hope that when you do enter, our complex, you feel the same way that Mary and I do. And that we hope that you keep coming back and enjoying not only the items that we have here, but all the events, festivals, and leagues that we offer throughout the year.